let me give you a little bit about me and kind of why I'm here and hopefully how I can add value to all of you in this room. So I'm a full-time father. I'm a part-time stock analyst. My job's pretty simple. My job is to understand future cash flows and what that means for today's value. And I will tell you that I've been doing this for 20 years, and most of you in this room are probably guilty of this too. There's too much focus on the near term and not enough focus on the long term. And this is really important because as we talk about disruption, we talk about the environment that we're in, we talk about standardization and trying to break the mold to move into a more personalized world, making change is tough because sometimes it compromises you in the near term. The areas that are most neglected, R&D, data, brand building, organizational design and efficacy, human capital. And what I really want to do is focus on the human capital because that's why we're all here, right? To really understand better about leadership, personalization. And what I want to really do is talk about not what's going on today, but what could happen in the next 5 years in terms of what those consumers are going to be looking at and experiencing. Because if you're not getting on the personalized track right now, you're going to be really lost 5 years from now. Consider this, the pace of change. It took 46 years for the adoption of this technology called electricity. It took 2.5 years for the iPhone to get mass adoption. Product cycles are truncating at a rapid rate, and I expect that this will continue to truncate as we move forward. The pace of change is accelerating, absolutely. Looking around corners is hard, but if you can get it right sometimes, it could be very profitable. CEO turnover. This is one of the big issues. Hey, activist pressure, the amount of stress and disruption taking place, and CEOs not being able to keep pace with that change. And you're seeing CEO turnover or CEO tenures truncate. Well, that's another reason why you're seeing so much disruption in the marketplace because leaderships tend to kick the can down the line to the next person and the next person and the next person. Well, someone's got to make the change. Do these terms look familiar to you? Raise your hand. Okay? Boomers, Hispanics, millennials, Gen X, Gen Y, multicultural, right? This is how we define and talk, even in the healthcare industry, right? This is how we define and talk about our target segments, right? Demographic targeting. Who here is a big fan of demographic targeting? Right, raise your hand. No one at all? You shouldn't be, because it's an obsolete term. I will argue that demographic targeting will be an obsolete concept in the next 5 years. And if you think about it, brands that are doing really well, Corona, right? Mexican import, 70% consumption Caucasian. It's a motivation, it's an occasion, right? We know what Corona stands for. We know the need state and we know why we consume it. It's not because you're of a certain ethnicity. Monster, same thing. Very broad-based demographic, but they tap into a certain psychographic. Even like Michelob Ultra, right? In a declining category, this brand has been growing double digits because I deserve it. It's the, I'll have my cake and eat it too. I can work out and I can enjoy myself. So what I would argue is that we have to stop thinking about who the consumer is. And we have to understand why they are consuming. And this is as relevant in healthcare as it is in the world of consumer products. Think about what is going to happen in the next 5 years. And if your organization is not prepared for personalization today, think about what the state of your organization will be, steady state, 5 years from now. There's no way you're going to be able to retain the right people, recruit the right people. The level of expectation will be so dramatically different than what you have as a culture and a philosophy today. So it's time to start making some near-term sacrifices to make sure you're prepared for the future. How do you as an organization create an agile culture and infrastructure so you can adjust to the change that's about to take place? And with that, I am finished.